Is your boss an idiot? Is he or she a toxic manager who makes your life miserable every single day?
I'm not sure. What do you mean by toxic?
Let's illustrate the misery. This is Larry, a middle manager at Big Corp Incorporated. Larry just went over to your desk, grabbed the report you've been working on, and now he is taking credit for it. He is what the ancient Greeks would call an incompetent idiot. And this is what's so depressing about it. Bosses like Larry are just deeply insecure bums who got promoted slightly above their level of competence and now have just enough power to make your life a living nightmare. And you're sitting there every single day, one passive-aggressive email away from completely losing your mind.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Listen up, hotshot. I'm gonna show you exactly why guys like Larry become toxic bosses. There's some messed up dark psychology behind their sheer stupidity. Because trust me, your boss is an idiot. Let's get into it. This is a good one. Larry told you the deadline was Friday. You heard it, you wrote it down. You worked your ass off all week and delivered on Friday. Now it's Monday, and Larry is standing there like,
I never said Friday. I said sometime next week. You should have confirmed.
sometime next week? I worked my ass off for nothing?
Maybe you did mishear him, though?
No, I didn't. This is called gaslighting. Bossman Larry is rewriting history to make you look incompetent, so he doesn't look disorganized. He'll hit you with one of these timeless classics.
I never said that. That's not what I meant. You misunderstood.
And my personal favorite,
You really need to start writing things down.
man, it pisses me off. You want to hear the dark psychology of this?
Sure.
If Larry can make you doubt your own memory, you stop trusting yourself. You stop pushing back. You just comply with his bullshit. It's a pathetic little control move from a balding man with a large ego.
Oh, come on. Mentioning that he's balding was a little out of line.
Yeah, you're right. You stayed late. You put blood, sweat, and tears into the thing. You made it happen. You sent it over to Larry. And then, in the next all-hands meeting, Larry walks in, pulls up your work, and presents it like this.
So I may or may not have been working on a strategy or two. It's nothing special. Just a little something I developed over the past few weeks. What do you think?
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen, and I've seen every episode of Seinfeld.
This is the toxic boss's second play. Take credit for the wins.
Well, the good thing with that is, if it goes to hell, he'll be the one responsible.
That's what you think, and you're gravely mistaken. While the incompetent boss takes credit for the wins, they blame others for anything that goes wrong. Let's say the said strategy turns out to be disastrous. Larry's gonna be like,
I had concerns about the approach from the beginning. I tried to be a whistleblower, but others persisted.
he had concerns from the beginning. This man was CC'd on every email and gave me a sounds good once. Here's the messed up psychology behind it. A toxic manager's #1 priority is never the team's success. It is their own survival. You're not a colleague to Larry. You're a disposable resource. You're merely a piece on his chessboard, ready to be thrown to the wolves if need be. Larry's not a leader. He's not even really a manager. He's a middleman with a salary and a parking spot.
He does have a really good parking spot, though.
That is true. That is true. You got your job, presumably, to be the one who executes said job. And yet, for some godforsaken reason, Larry needs to approve every single thing you do. He needs to be CC'd on every email. He hovers over your desk like a scientist with one of those microscopes.
Maybe he just wants to make sure everything is up to standard.
Maybe he just wants to make sure your is up to standard.
Can we be adults?
But anyway, here's what micromanaging actually is. It is not about your performance. It is about his anxiety. Larry doesn't hover because you can't be trusted. Larry hovers because he can't stand not being in control of everything. If you take charge and get done, he'll tell you.
You should have run it by me.
If you just sit back and wait for directions, he'll go.
You're not taking enough responsibility.
And then Larry genuinely starts to feel like he has to do everything himself. It's a disaster he created and somehow convinced himself is your fault.
Classic Larry.
Every office has that one person. You know who I'm talking about. The one who gets the good projects, the early promotions, and the long lunches with Larry. Basically, the boss's favorite. At Big Corp, that guy is Kyle.
Ugh, I hate Kyle.
Meanwhile, you're over there hitting every target, working as hard as you possibly can, and somehow still being told.
You need to demonstrate more leadership potential before we can have that conversation.
Maybe Kyle is just genuinely better than you?
No, he ain't. Kyle, except for being the CEO's brother-in-law, gets better treatment because of something called similarity bias. Larry promotes people who remind him of himself. People who make him feel smart, validated, and tall. Yeah, being tall is important to Larry. Don't don't ask me about it. Here's why it's so f***ed up. The moment you realize the game is rigged, you stop playing. You stop trying. Anyone with at least a 2-digit IQ would. Thus, Larry and his favoritism ruins it for everyone. And Larry, well, Larry won't even notice. He'll be at lunch with Kyle. This one is sneaky. This is the one that genuinely makes you lose your mind. Remember that time Larry told you?
Hit this number, son, and we'll talk about a raise.
So you worked hard and hit those numbers. But then Larry goes,
Well, it ain't just about the number, partner. We need to see some consistency first.
so you work even harder for a couple of months. You put in a good quarter. And then you say,
Hey, Larry, how about that raise, huh?
Right, but the market's shifted and we need to see you take on a little more scope.
so you take on more scope, and Larry goes,
We're thinking about restructuring the role a little bit.
But maybe he's just trying to push you to be your best. Ever thought of that?
Mickey, I am going to lose my mind. You see, keeping you almost there is more useful to Larry than actually getting you there. You're motivated, you're working hard, and most importantly, you're not leaving. So you know what the appropriate thing to do is? It's to go, sign this contract. If I do this bullshit you've asked me to do, you give me my mother raise. Sign it, mother. Keeping you afraid is a subtle strategy, but from his point of view, a really effective one. Larry never outright threatens you. He never says,
You might get fired, kiddo.
that would be too obvious and probably illegal. What he does instead is leave everything just vague enough.
Just so y'all know, leadership's been watching performance real closely, and that's across the board. Just keep doing what you're doing, mostly.
If they tell you, just keep doing what you're doing, you know for a fact you'll be gone before the end of the quarter.
I'm sure it means you're doing great.
No, it doesn't. He's being vague as hell to keep you afraid. He'll drop a passing comment about headcount reviews, a vague mention that leadership is watching, or when you ask to utilize one of your unlimited PTO days, he'll say,
Oh, that's not a great look.
this is psychological control through deliberate vagueness. When you're slightly afraid, you work harder, you don't push back, you don't ask for raises, and you definitely don't question Larry's parking spot. For an insecure middle manager, using psychological terror is the most powerful card in his hand. So, you've learned something today. These are the 6 ways toxic managers like Larry make your life a living nightmare.
So what do we do about it?
That is one great question. You basically have 2 options. Option 1, you stay, but you build a fortress that can't be taken down. Document everything. Screenshot every email. Record every Zoom meeting. Be nice via text, but an asshole in real life. And eventually, you go get that promotion. Good for you.
What's option 2?
Well, option 2 is you tell him to go himself. Schedule a meeting, lose your mind, and get fired on the spot. Take a dump in his office, find a better job, and live happily ever after. Larry can have his stupid job, his stupid salary, and his stupid parking lot. He peaked the day he got promoted, and I hate him. Goodbye.